You got to find a better way to have the debate.
It is the only leverage we have. The reality is that Democrats are in the minority in the House.
You'll never get what you want. You'll never get it. Nobody has ever ended a shutdown getting what they want.
Brian Tyler Cohen, one of the top progressive hosts online, went on Chris Cuomo's show to debate about the ongoing government shutdown. Chris Cuomo did his typical centrist, both sides are equally bad bit that he does night after night on his News Nation show. Brian Tyler Cohen pushed back with his views on how the Democrats should be fighting back against the Republicans during this government shutdown. I wanted to take a look at clips from this debate between Chris Cuomo and Brian Tyler Cohen on the channel and share my thoughts as well. So here it is, Chris Cuomo versus Brian Tyler Cohen. Let's get into it.
42 million Americans who use food stamps could go hungry. SNAP runs out. Then you got WIC, Mothers and Children, 6-7 million people there. They're going to have funding run out. Brian says Republicans are to blame for all of it. Progressive YouTuber BTC right now. Good to see you, brother.
Chris, great seeing you as always.
My God, look at how luxurious your beard is compared to
I knew you were going to go there. I've been prepping for this Movember for a long time. We'll get you there.
It looks good, man. It looks good. I got to tell you, I don't envy your arguments, but I envy your facial hair. All right, so give it to me. How are Republicans responsible?
Because they could end this right now. They are choosing to make this issue of the shutdown an issue where they pit the sick against the hungry. The reality is this is a false choice. We don't need to be here. Prior to this moment, we've been able to afford both the ACA subsidies and SNAP benefits for 42 million Americans. So you have to ask yourself, why are we here? And the reality is that the Republicans passed their one big beautiful bill. They cut $1 trillion from healthcare. That included 17 million people worth of Medicaid benefits. And they also cut $350 billion worth of SNAP benefits. So if you're wondering how we got here, it's because we're dealing with a Republican Party that has full control of government, House, Senate, White House, and their priority is not to continue these programs. It is expressly to cut them. That's why they did it. Don't listen to what they say. Just watch what they do.
Okay. I will talk to you about the policies, and I don't disagree with the needs and what should be priorities, but that's why you have elections. And Trump won, and the debt and the deficit were huge problems, and health care is something that is seen as having a lot of fat to it. Do I agree? No. But that is why they picked these things. Now, you leave something out. We are where we are because of your party. The Senate won't give the votes on the Democratic side to get past the filibuster for reconciliation. That is why the government shut down. It is not a question. That is a fact.
Nor should they. And you want to talk about what the American people voted for? It was Trump and Republicans who said that they were going to protect earned benefits, not completely gut them like they've done right now. 78% of Americans. Wait, let me finish. 78% of Americans, and I know that you've showed this stat on your show, the Kaiser Family Foundation.
This is true.
78% of Americans agree that Congress should extend these ACA subsidies. So if you want to talk about a mandate for the American people, this is it.
Yes.
You had just mentioned a moment ago, too, that there was some mandate to cut spending. The Republicans blew a $4 trillion hole in the deficit because they wanted to give a tax cut to millionaires and billionaires. So on this issue, they're not even abiding by the thing that they promised on the campaign trail. There's no deficit spending getting under control right here. They blew the deficit up.
Listen, again, here's the debatable point. They say no. The tax cuts drove the economy. The first administration was much better than Biden's economy. Of course, he had the pandemic, but that's how the cookie crumbles. You got to deal with what happens on your watch, and that's why they want the tax cuts. I don't agree. But here is your problem, Brian Tyler Cohen. You are fighting the right fight, in my opinion. This is righteous. The subsidies are needed, and they wouldn't even be needed as much if so many red states didn't play politics and refused to expand Medicaid when they had the chance. And I have two ideas. The first one is right fight, wrong way, wrong battleground. Shutting down the government, and Schumer is a terrible messenger for you guys because everybody knows he did it. He doesn't want to make a deal right now because he thinks this pain is working for him. But this was the wrong way to have the right fight. And you can say this is the only leverage we had. I don't agree. You got to find a better way to have the debate.
It is the only leverage we have. The reality is that Democrats are in the minority in the House.
You'll never get what you want. You'll never get it. Nobody has ever ended a shutdown getting what they want. It doesn't happen because all we would have is shutdowns.
This is the only instance where the Democrats could put forward any leverage whatsoever. The vast majority of the American people are behind them. Like I said, 8 in 10 Americans agree that Congress should extend these ACA subsidies.
Brian Tyler Cohen is exactly right. This is the only leverage that the Democrats have, and Chris Cuomo can't see through the both-siderism glasses that he's constantly wearing. Donald Trump, just over the weekend, in the interview that he did, was asked about, what he's going to do about healthcare. Well, open the government back up, Trump says, and then we'll give you great healthcare. This is, during his first term, in 2 weeks, we're going to have a great healthcare plan. They have no plan. They don't care about providing a plan. Like Brian Tyler Cohen said, they want SNAP to go away. They don't care if people starve. They just want that money to go to their rich donors and to themselves. They don't care if they want the ACA to go away. They openly talk about how horrible they think it is. Now, there are lots of problems with the ACA, but are the Trump administration and MAGA Republicans going to fix it? Absolutely not. They could offer a single payer option. They could do Medicare for all, or they could just offer everyone in America what Congress has, which is health insurance that is subsidized up to 75%. Up to 75% of the premiums that members of Congress pay is subsidized by the federal government. So subsidized by you and me, if you're in the United States, people who pay taxes. It's rich. And the ultimate gaslighting that all of these MAGA scumbags are saying, I don't want my taxes going for subsidies for these other people. When right now the members of Congress, their health insurance, their premiums are being subsidized with our tax dollars. And why on earth, Brian Tyler Cohen says to Chris Cuomo, it's the only leverage that the Democrats have. Why on earth would the Democrats say, okay, we'll reopen the government and negotiate with people who they know are not honest actors? Donald Trump, he's not going to do shit to improve health insurance for Americans. MAGA Mike Johnson won't even seat a duly elected Democrat. So you think these dishonest actors are going to negotiate? I saw the meme today of Lucy from Charlie Brown with holding the football out for Charlie Brown to kick it and saying, just reopen the government and we'll negotiate on healthcare. It's not going to happen. Chris Cuomo has to know that.
And the reality is the Democrats are trying to save Republicans from themselves. You had just mentioned these ACA subsidy extensions. In the last 5 years, the states that have adopted the ACA enrollment have largely been Republican states. We're talking Texas, Florida, West Virginia, Tennessee. The pain is going to be felt among Republican constituents. So at this point, the Republicans really, it's win-win for them to relent here and come to the negotiating table. But Democrats would be fools, Chris. Democrats would be absolute fools to surrender what little leverage they have and just take Republicans at their word when they say, hey guys, we'll totally definitely negotiate with you. All we ask is that you surrender all your leverage, open up the government, and then come sit down with us, the people who just cut $1 trillion from healthcare.
Look, I'm with you, except for a couple of things. One is shutdown should be illegal. You're putting the pain on everybody else in the interest of making things better for everybody else. I think it's a mixed message. I don't think it plays for you guys as well as you think. The second thing is this. Fetterman says he trusts Thune to have negotiations. We'll see if he's right or wrong.
Let me ask you a question on that. Let me ask you a question on that.
Hold on. Let me give you my answer, and then you ask your question, and you get the last word. Cool. Here's the deal. We need the subsidies. Everybody wants the subsidies. You know they want the subsidies, Mr. and Mrs. Republican. I give you the reimbursements issue. You decide, Republicans, what states get reimbursed for giving emergency care to undocumented immigrants. Here, I give it to you. You decide the reimbursement rate and you own it. I'm giving you that issue. It is not about giving illegals, that ugly word, a free health care. Here, you can have it. I want the subsidies. Present that to the American people. You win all day long. You won't do it. I don't know why. But I'll give you a last word. Go ahead.
Yeah. So on this idea that the Republicans can come forward and ask for the Democrats to relent, just open up the government and then we'll sit down with you. That's apparently what John Fetterman is saying that he takes John Thune at his word for. It goes the other way. Why not just sit down, with the Democrats today, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, hammer out a deal to extend these ACA subsidies. Hammer out a deal to extend these ACA subsidies, and then you open up the government. Look, the Democrats are all on board. All they're asking for with what little leverage they have is to extend the ACA subsidies. They're not asking for the sun and the moon here. They're not asking, to extend, like, this isn't Green New Deal. There's no poison pills. It is something that, again, has the vast majority of support across the country among both Democrats and Republicans.
It does. But not this way. Not this way. Nobody said shut down the government to do it. And you got hooked up on that illegals health care, horrible poison pill.
There is no. You and I both know that there is not a dime of federal funding that goes toward undocumented health care.
So give it to them.
Sure. I mean, that's not even up for debate. And the reality is they know it's not up for debate. They know that they're acting in bad faith. But I'm saying instead of surrendering the leverage that we have, ask these Republicans to come to the negotiating table right now. If they're acting in good faith when they say that they, of course, want to make a deal on ACA subsidies, do it right now. There's time today.
They will not reward the shutdown. They won't reward the shutdown because then the minority always does it. They have to pass a law that shutdowns are illegal, and then you can get into this. But I appreciate your policy points. I think you guys are fighting the right fight.
The Republicans should do that with the capital they have. But until then, this is it.
So more both-siderism from Chris Cuomo. He presents the Republican framing on illegals, quote unquote illegals, getting free health care or free health insurance, which is total BS. And like Brian Tyler Cohen is saying, why would you give in on that and allow them to have that framing on something that's completely non-existent? It's just a lie that right-wingers made up. And also Chris Cuomo brings up Fetterman, that Fetterman, possibly the worst Democrat in Congress, he should just switch over and become a Republican, trusts John Thune. Why are we listening to Fetterman? Why would we take the worst Democrat and say, he says he can trust the Republicans? That is such a loser mentality from Chris Cuomo. Brian Tyler Cohen is right. This is the leverage that the Democrats have. They need to continue to fight, because if they don't, the government is going to reopen and Republicans are going to say, oh, guess what? You shouldn't have trusted us. We're not going to negotiate now at all. The ACA subsidies go away. We don't give a damn about SNAP. Who cares about that? It would be insane for the Democrats to give in and to give up this leverage that they have. Let the Republicans come to them. Like Brian Tyler Cohen is saying here, why do the Democrats always have to be the good guys? Why do the Democrats always have to be the adults in the room? Make the Republicans negotiate. But let me know what you think about this. Who do you agree with here? Do you agree with Brian Tyler Cohen, who says the Democrats should use this leverage? Or do you agree with Chris Cuomo, who says that the Democrats should be trusting these dishonest actors, these MAGA scumbags, and Donald Trump, who don't give a damn about regular people, about their health care, about SNAP benefits, about any of the rest of it? They want all of it to go away. Let me know in the comments what you think. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you aren't subscribed already. This is Progressive Perspective, and we will see you in the next video.